Welcome to the Comics News Wire, where we get our news from the comics newsroom found at comicbookadvocates.com. This show is anchored by Mr. Anderson, who is the unboxable, advocating creator known as the Indie Comics Devil, who will tempt you with his devilish tales of fetish, monsters, and more. Join him and his co-anchors as they give you the comics news coming off the wire. This show is brought to you in association with...
At Geek Insider, we foster relationships with those in the geek sphere so we can give our audience the insider view of entertainment, tech, and more.
ComicBookAdvocates.com is the global digital Comic-Con, but it's more than that, and you can be more too. Be more than just a fan. Become an advocate for comics like ComicBookAdvocates.com is for their creators, for their crowdfunding, for the very books they're creating. Because we love comics. Hello, and welcome to the Comic Book Advocates News called CNW, brought to you by Indie Volt, Geek Insider. And remember to be more than just a fan. Become an advocate for comics today. And let's talk about being a pair, because I think we need a reminder, and then we have some breaking news. So first off, I want you guys to understand. Give me 1 second. I think we have it. We just have to change the rooms. All right. Be a pair. Be a pair. Be professional. Be ethical. Be authentic. Be respectful. Remember, in this industry for comics, be a pair. Art provided by Chris Mad. Look up Chris Mad Art on Facebook today. All right. So let's get to it. And we want to remind you that without you, there are no comics. So please consider backing all the different Kickstarters, Indiegogos now on there. You can always find our newsroom by going to comicbookadvocates.com. The forecast, we're hoping to get some in the near future. Some shows are starting up, and then, of course, there's your crowdfunding. Click the link to see what you're going to be crowdfunding today. This is Tuesday's headlines. We're excited to get down into it. Let's confirm that comics are awesome. And you know, there's just one person that we can ask about that. Keanu?
Comics are awesome.
All right. If you have anything that you want added in, just make sure to send us an email right here. And we're happy to cover it. And we're going to introduce Michael Oden in 1 second. But we do have, and of course here he is, the co-anchor, Moden. He's joining us, and he's in the background. Just going to jump in 1 second. But we do want to talk about we need more co-anchors. We want this to become something bigger than any just one person. That's the whole point of all the co-anchors. That's why we're getting everything. Excited to get the news out and the word out about all these creations. So if you think you got the chops, please enter it now. And like I said, the indie news is found on Comic Book Advocates Network and throughout social media, but we have breaking news. That's right. I so rarely get to play with this breaking news little icon. So I'm gonna bust it out. Here it comes. Breaking news. We're gonna bring in Moden for this. Moden, welcome to the show.
Hey, what's up, guys? How we doing?
Good. So here we go. We're going to talk about the breaking news right now. That breaking news is that Belial has joined the Kickstarter community. And Chuck gives us the information. Chuck, says, we're live, baby. Let's explode out the gate. And let's take a quick look at how they're doing so far. I think they just went live all of an hour ago. Some additional news tomorrow on our backer pause. Not only will Chuck be here, but as the writer of Belial, he'll be answering what Belial would have thought of the videos. So I can't wait till he gets to Moden's video. That'll be great. I can't wait to see what Belial thinks about the fights. But already 8:37 in the bank, 38 backers, 1 hour in. Exciting stuff. About to beat $1,000. Make sure that you help them beat $1,000 right now by getting in, being part of it, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to play that video. So here goes that amazing bean footage, as they say.
What's up, gang? I'm Chuck Pino, and one half of the Belial creator team. we're super excited to bring you double the pain, double the fun, and double the hilarity in this crazy underdog adventure where our boy Belial, the original creator of Hell, takes on two horsemen. This time, it's going to be Pestilence and Famine. We've got tons of awards for you, such as amazing variants by guys like Steph Wilson, Chris Madd, Thomas Tenney, and even more to come as the campaign comes on. So we would love it if you hopped on, you checked out all the cool, awesome, fun stuff we've got in store, because, man, it is only going to get better. Thank you so much. Have some fun. And, dude, check out Belial.
And I am already a backer. You should be too. The first book was great. I loved Link. Link's one of those characters that I want to do a crossover with at one time between him and Barbara. So I'm pushing for it. I already have the story written in my head, so you got to help me get this funded, because the more money they make, the more I can convince someone to let me play with Link and Barbara together. All right, Moden, you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, Mike Roden here, creator writer of Elysian Fields. You can find me on Twitter at ElysianFields_0 and on Facebook at Nine Realms Publishing. We are currently live with the Pyramid Gambit. We had a whole bunch of exciting announcements over on the weekend that I'm going to be putting up in the Indie News here on the Indie News Wire here probably tomorrow. But come check us out. We are funded, but we're still trying to push so that we can continue to deliver fantastic content to you guys and expand as we move forward.
All right. This is pretty exciting. I talked about this briefly yesterday. We didn't have a lot of time, so I came up with this concept, and Moden knows this. I had a Kickstarter. It was called Written Sins Volume 1. It was successfully actually funded, but I had ignored it because my mother had a stroke. And it was a week before we were ending, and I was like, I'm just not there creatively. There were things I wanted to do that I just felt, sure, I could go ahead and go through it, but it wasn't going to be my best work. And I'll never put out something that I can't say was the best work at that time in my career. You go through something like I went through, and it's time to take a step back. You know, Scott Snyder did it when his son died. They stopped production.
Zack Snyder with his daughter.
Was this his daughter? I heard it was his son. I'm sorry.
No, it was his daughter, and it was Zack Snyder. You said Scott Snyder.
Oh, yeah.
The DC writer.
Thank you.
Keep you on track, man. It's all good.
Well, Scott Snyder, speaking of him, his kid had surgery this year. It wasn't a good couple of years for the Snyders, I guess.
No,
they're not related. They're actually not related. They're just two cool people, and I apologize. But yeah, I always heard it was a son. I'm surprised. I'm sorry to hear. I mean, it doesn't make it any worse or better. Losing a kid
it was his adopted daughter. She was at college and was having a rough time, apparently.
Oh, man. Well, our heart goes out to him. So it's been a rough year. My heart goes out to everyone. So instead of relaunching WSN, I figured, screw it. This is all my earlier work. This past weekend, I would have gone to New York Comic Con for like the 15th year in a row. And I probably would have been talking about my comic books. And it reminded me, this first comic I handed out for free. So why don't I do that right now? While everyone's struggling, while everyone's having problems, I'm going to give you guys my earlier work every week. So you guys are going to get one copy of a PDF from my earlier collection of books, and this is going to include all of my earlier releases. I'm giving out for free. All I ask is an email address, because I was going to do it just for free at first, and I was like, you got to make something valuable. Even if it's giving it to them, they have to be willing to trade something, because anyone will say yes to something that's free, but when you say, hey, I want something in return, they slow down and they take it more seriously. I want people to read this, and I'm hoping you go along the journey with me. So I
think that's a fantastic idea.
Thank you.
This is something that I feel all indie creators should consider. It's a fantastic way for you to kind of build a mailing list as well, so that you can keep people up to date on future projects, and it gives people a chance to really explore who you are as a creator, get to know you through your work. So this is a phenomenal idea, Rob. I sincerely applaud you on this. Is great.
Thank you. And there's a backstory to it. We're not going to bore you and read the whole thing, but I encourage you to read it. This is definitely my first work. It's something, if you've never read my earlier work, you're going to be amazed at what I used to write. Considering I'm now known for Fetish Monsters and more, this is a lot different. So you can get it. Just send me an email. message. Do not put your email on a social media site. Please, please, please don't put your email on a social media. They're going to sign you up for weird stuff. Everyone's going to take your email. So. All right, Moten, go ahead and tell us about this exciting news from New York Comic Con.
All right. To be honest, I didn't know what to expect when I found out we would be doing our annual charity art auction online. I wasn't sure if we'd get enough art, enough bidders, or raise enough money. As email after email came in with beautiful artwork, I knew we'd be able to pull this together. The more we worked on it, the higher my goals got. As with every auction, Mike Negan and I had a talk about how much we wanted to raise. Per usual, Mike had a very conservative number, and I shot for the stars. I said I was putting it out into the universe that we should raise at least $80K, and I refused to accept anything less. Secretly, my stretch goal was $100K. But him and Edgar Reyes already thought I was crazy, so I kept it to myself and a few close friends. Each day as the bids grew and we hit all the benchmarks I was hoping for, I knew we could do it, and they started to believe it too. Watching the auction page hit 100K is one of the most exciting and surreal experiences I've ever had. It was tough celebrating alone in my apartment, but I know we are all together in spirit. I always say this event is magic, and it continues to prove that every year after year. So truly grateful, humble, thankful, and honored to be a part of something so special. Huge thanks to all the artists who contributed such amazing pieces, the bidders who joined the action, and everyone who made direct donations. I can't even express how much I appreciate it. Our running total between C2E2 and New York Comic Con is now $682,861. Hashtag it's for the kids. That is fan-fucking-tastic news. Pardon my French, but man, that's great.
Yeah, and that's New York Comic Con not giving it up. They didn't turn our backs on us this year. Reed delivered with a great New York Comic Con to make sure to do this. Good morning, Phil. And we have What Have We Learned Today? Well, stay tuned. You're going to learn a lot. So I'm definitely proud of Mike Negan. He did a great job. And this is something that I'm proud of, too, the creative journey. So something that's newer that won't be released is something from this every week you get a story. This is something part of New York Comic Con usually has something called Creators Connection with Buddy Scalera from Comic Book School. And we didn't give up. This year there was an 8-page challenge that we all got together and we were going to make an anthology. Guess what? The anthology still got made despite everything in 2020. This is something I should actually send it to Moden. He'd actually enjoy it. It's a creative journey. It is something that is awesome. We all keep, just like the Advocator, every creator keeps the rights to their own stories. This is going to be something big that's going to be ongoing. Every year we're going to come together and do this 8-page challenge. And I'm going to try to be part of it every year. Even if I don't do a story necessarily because it gets too busy, and I hope it does, maybe I'll help someone by editing it, story editing for them. Maybe I'll letter for them. Who knows? I will always somehow be part of this because without creator connections, not even lying here, there would have never been a comicbookadvocates.com. That panel inspired me so much in my creative career. This is something I'm excited about. It's kind of biographical and biographical, however you say that.
Biographical.
Thank you, Moden. It is sort of that way, but it's also made so it doesn't feel like it's just about me. It invites everyone else to walk in the shoes of the character, and I've gotten great reviews so far, so I'm excited about this. Some great artists, including Chris Mad, was part of this, and I won't tell you all the artists yet because I want to save some of it for when we release it. But I did want to drop Chris Mad's name, and there's a ton of great artists. I can't wait to tell you all of them. But we're going to move on. Moden, tell them about The Art of Shepherd.
The Art of Shepherd, an interview with guys. Back in April 2019, I was on the lookout for an artist. I don't really.
There we go.
I was on the lookout for an artist for a project. A friend of mine, Marcello Bondi, provided me with a list of Italian artists he knew who he believed might be a good fit for this project. One of those artists was a gentleman by the name of, I'm assuming, so the interview is with Giuseppe Falco, and it's about, I'm assuming, his comic, The Shepherd. I haven't seen this one, but I will say this, whoever he got for the art was a stellar choice because that is freaking gorgeous.
Right. Like I'm excited. And of course, for those who don't know, they'll be joining Scout under the Black Pyramid label, the imprint. So stay tuned for more amazing stuff coming from not only Andrea, who's a great editor for Scout, but also for Scout itself. And here you go, some exclusive covers were for Scout Comics. Look at how beautiful they were. I'm sure some of them are still available if you ask now. So make sure you get off there.
What is that one on the bottom left?
This one, that one?
Yeah, that one's pretty.
Do you know what that is?
I don't know what that's for.
Mo, do you know what that is? That's your need to click this when you're off the show later and find out what it's for.
Fair enough. There
we go. Got to get you guys over to Scout to help them out. And this is just a quick video from me. It's disappointment fade, but hard work pays off. I'm sharing these videos with you guys on the news too as little segments. We don't play them, but if you notice the shirt, that's my art, Moden. That is my one and only art credit. Yeah, that's my art credit. So I will forever be able to call myself an artist. I'll never use the word good in front of it, but I'll always be able to call myself an artist.
Based off of what I see there, it's not half bad, man. It looks good.
It's horrible. Let's move on quickly. I'm embarrassed by it. Being around people like Chris Mad, nope. And it's Satane Zilia who did my art for Barbara. Nope.
You can't compare those things. Like that would be like me trying to compare my stuff to Marcelo. It's solid art, dude. I don't have
It took me way too long to do that. Trust me, I'm not looking to be an artist. But some news from our friend Sam. Go ahead and read it.
Hashtag pledge today. Kickstarter.com/project/catch the crazies. 32 backers, 62% funded, 1532 pledged, 14 days left. What are you waiting for?
And go ahead and get out there and catch some crazies. And our friend Jameis gives us looking for something to make you a better creator. We have something for you. If you have a comic on Amazon and you want to be listed in the directory, drop a link. And this is Amazon.com, Comics Creator Central Amazon page. So trying to get all the different comic book properties that are on Amazon into one place is Jameis's goal. We wish him luck with that. And here's what I'm talking about by art. That's art.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And that Belial, is that the variant cover or is that the pinup? Either way, it's gorgeous. Chuck had sent me that, and it's so cool.
I can ask Chuck that tomorrow. I'm not sure. I think that's supposed to be a cover. I mean, how don't you make that a cover? Oh, I got something in my eye. Sorry, eyelash.
It would easily be my if this was my cover, it'd be my Virgin cover. No logo, no nothing. There's just this.
Yep, and I agree, man. I'm gonna look up. I already backed it, but I didn't really look at it because I had to go on the news. So I was like, that one looks fine, and I backed it. I'll go back and look for this one because I actually do want this cover. I think this is amazing. Chris Matt did a great job. And here's our girl Meredith. Go ahead, tell them about Meredith.
Have you subscribed to the Geek Insider podcast yet? If you haven't, what are you waiting for? But they've got great news. Geek Speak with Matthew Harris and Meredith herself, with a clever title pending with Brian K. Morris, will be up there here shortly. Creativity in Progress with Ethan Murphy and Nathan Beatty. Sunday Comics Brunch with Rob Anderson and guests Geeky, Cheeky, and Downright Freaky, and more to come.
So yeah, I guess I'm now on iHeartRadio. So cool, cool. And
iHeartRadio.
One day we'll get Moden to come join us on the brunch on Sunday.
I think that'd be awesome. What time is the show on Sunday?
11 a.m. And I have the camera off just because I have the eyelash in my eyes keep making me like dig out my eyeballs. So I apologize. 4 days left until nightfall descends. Ooh my! Check this out.
Yeah, that one is really good.
Art. See, Moden, art, not my stuff. Real art.
Hey man! If I could get a creator cover up, you can too. It's all good.
They don't want my creator cover, and I don't want it either. So I respect it. This is the Icon Avery and the Astonishing Leads. The Change. Wow, this one's a big one. The summoning of the power of the dwarf star to stem the tide of darkness. The heart of the soul of constant hustle. Comics wades into the deepening night with a smile on her face. Starlight in the darkest skies, and the Avery stands among the great Nothing as the Beacon of Light. Illustrated by Nethio Diaz and colored by Pixel Tool. This will be one of 3 covers available for Nightfall Part 1, Dark Horizons. Joined by Prime and Justice, Avery faces an ageless power that grows with each moment. Avery and a host of other heroes must stop the world from tumbling into oblivion. Join Wingless Comics, Concept, Moon Studios, and Constant Hustle Comics on October 16th, which, if I'm not mistaken, that's Friday. The doors of night are open. Nightfall is coming.
That Pixel Tool is one hell of a colorist. He does a lot of he's done a lot of stuff for me on this past campaign. He's done one of our covers, and he's doing one of our pinups.
And one of the most exciting men in comics, one of the most busiest men in comics, the hardest working man in comics. Victor Dandridge got to celebrate his campaign being a breakout success, The Trouble with Love. He did an amazing job. Look at that excitement. And he is someone I look up to. Talk about New York Comic Con. He's one of the people that inspire me to be a better creator. He is someone I watch and listen to. If I have a problem and I need advice, he's a man I go to because he is the man in comics as far as I'm concerned. And you're up with Tony Kittle's information.
All right. So from Tony Kittle's, we have The Regulators, issue number 2 ends soon, $800 away from the goal. Get on it now. This issue sets a new status quo and establishes the advent at Universe's greatest heroes as a team. Make sure you get your copy today.
All right.
That is really cool. I dig it.
And this Comic Unity online convention, say what you will about it, it was inventive. I will say that I didn't. To call yourself an online convention, the one critique I would have is you have to do more online content. I don't think they did a lot of online content enough to sustain being a comic convention. But hey, do what you got to do, man. I love the hustle. I love the uniqueness. I love the energy. Spin-off comics. They made their goal in some. They had 29 hours left when they posted this 21 hours ago, so they have 8 hours left at this point. So check it out if you haven't checked it out already. Were you saying something, Moden?
I just said that looks outstanding. Good for them.
Speaking of outstanding, tell them about this.
All right, don't miss out on this epic werewolf graphic novel giveaway by Lone Wolf Comics. Nightwolf presents an epic werewolf, and Bill got in the way of me reading the news, and Nightwolf presents an epic werewolf graphic novel giveaway. And it looks like they got statues there, too.
You're going to have to click the link to find out more, but Phil Locklear says this is Chris Madd's variant for Belial, too. I thought it was a variant. Thank you, Phil, for educating us live on TV. And here goes our friend Joe D. McPhee. With less than 5 days, we're still pushing forward to unlocking stretch goals for free products. Today, Exogen Studios Incorporated will be releasing a concept of a future story arc for Amazonian comic series. Take a moment and help the story of Elise Masters grow by backing Amazonian #1 10th anniversary edition on Kickstarter today. So time is running out. Make sure that you back that. But one of the things you definitely got to check out is Gamal Hennessy is doing this amazing FIT Diversity Comic Con. It's attorney creative contract consulting. This is something that you should all be part of. Sign up for it. Anything he has, I sign up for, and I do my best to show up. You know, some of it's sometimes hard. 2:30 p.m. That's a little difficult for me because of Jackson getting out of school, but I'll do my best to show up. You'll definitely try to see me there. Sean Keenan's got some news over from XCT. If you want to go ahead and tell the world about it, Odin.
Yeah, I will. So he's got his XCT Infinite is in its final days. Do you like comics? Do you like Hearthstone? Do you like card games? Then this is the Kickstarter for you. XCT Infinity is a crossover between a video card game, Infinite Heroes, and acclaimed comic series XCT. Grab the comic, read an amazing adventure, and then jump into the action, competing against your friends using the heroes you were just reading about across multiple platforms. For as little as $50 US AUD, I think is how that's done, and $30 USD, you can get a whole digital back catalog of XCT as well as the game and more. Sound interesting? Click the link. You're muted, Rob.
Sorry, I coughed for a second. I said it's definitely interesting to me. I'm pretty sure I'm a backer, and if I'm not a backer already, I will be very soon. I wanted to say happy birthday to everyone who's on this list. Facebook's been acting weird. Whenever I try to wish someone a happy birthday more than once, because I have more than one friend, it says I'm spamming. So now I've started creating these posts where I tag people in it. I did want to say a shout out to the Pyramids creator, Gary Henderson. Great guy. It's his birthday today. Wanted to show some love. And everyone else is born in October. Happy birthday. And then this, for some reason, doubled. That happens. Oh, here we go. A little trick that this site does every so often since we did it. But we do have some news from Daphne. Go ahead and tell them about it, Moden.
All right. So they are down to their last 3 copies of the complete Tall Tales Thieves Quest collection. They are not printing this book in any format any longer. So if you want to have the complete 560-page story arc in Volume 1, here's your chance. What a fantastic! That's awesome. Get in on it.
What happened? Why is this not showing? Someone must be set to friends right now. That's not clear. Give me a second, and I'm going to look this up on my other thing, and we'll see. I'll try to at least read it because it could just be a setting. And this was Vic with Gene Paul talking about, oh man, the New York Comic Con Virtual Artist Alley table of Victor Dandridge and Gene Paul Desag, and 2 great guys. Talk to him about Raheel, and I'll be right back.
All right. Thanks so much for the tag at Rob Henderson, and it's saying comics over coffee, Mike and Sil.
Let's see if we can get more description on that. I don't think it translated all the description, so hold on. I'm going to bring it up over here.
I've been planning.
No. Here we go. There we go. Something. Can you read it? Bigger?
Yes. This hashtag World Mental Health Day. Join at Raheel Masin in a very special episode of Comics Over Coffee with Mike and Soul Comics as they talk about their comic book series, hashtag Out of Order. Hashtag Mental Health Matters. Mental health is important. World Mental Health Day, mental wellness, Mike and Soul Comics, Out of Order.
I don't know what happened to this content. I can see it in a different room, and it's not actually. This is weird. This is very, very weird. I'm sorry, guys. Just bear with me. This is from actually Phil. It was about the video he had last night, and for some reason, it's not showing. So I think that instead of telling, I think showing is the best way. So here's what I did. I called up the actual video itself. We're going to make sure to give love to Phil because Phil gives love to us all the time. And, of course, he's
absolutely.
So he had an interesting conversation with, is it Sora Sang? Is that how?
I think so. I think that's how it's pronounced. I could be 100%. I could be 100% wrong, but I think it's Sora Sung.
So okay, she was on there. She's got the Carnal Knowledge book and a few other ones. It's definitely an interview that I'm going to try to spend some time watching today. I am excited to see Demon Phil at work. He does great shows. Make sure that you subscribe to Demon Phil on YouTube by going to Demon Nation. Become one of the 109. Be more than 109. Be the 110th backer or subscriber today. We're going to move on to more news now that we got that fixed. Chuck, 3 years ago, Chuck got his first his name on a comic book for the first time.
That's awesome.
Fitting that Belial launched today. Excited. I've always loved working with Chuck. Super excited. And it's been a long road, my friend. It's been a long road. Can't wait to talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, Chuck's such a great dude too. I'm working with him on so many things coming up. It's insane. Like he's a fact. Like I don't know if there is a more fun editor to work with in the industry. I certainly have had a blast working with him.
All right, we have Punchline and Vaude Villains, and the Vaude Villains issue number 1 is, I think it's going to be on Kickstarter sometime today. And let's go over to see everyone's creative news before we move on. So we're going to transport ourselves over to Facebook. What's that?
It says only 2 comments.
That's people missing out. Russ, only death can save us. Now 118 funded as well on stretch goal number 3. 19 days left to swag for the stretch goals. Yeah, only 2 comments, and I'd love to add my latest project, Rocket Girl, the girls' children's storybook, and we're gonna have permission to do that. Yeah, it's funny. Facebook's been acting weird lately, so I'm not taking it personal. I just know the world that is Facebook right now, and nothing is working the way it should. And, you go into Facebook right now, the minute you leave, you got to wipe your feet. Because you stepped in something. You stepped in something. All right, so speaking of stepping into something, step into picking the number 1 project. Last week, Moden won, so he can't win again 2 weeks in a row. But this week, it looks like Hybrids, Luke Stone's Trash Day Volume 1 could take the cake. But it's up to you to decide what starts our Bracker pause tomorrow. What will we play and what will be what we call the project to back this week? All right, so this is the Mainstream Market Watch brought to us by Indie Volt. Make sure to download on Roku and Google Play today. There you go. You get the first topic I think you're going to be excited about.
All right, The Boys. Homelander's son replaces Black Noir's comic book twist. The Boys switches up Black Noir's story. I haven't read The Boys comic. I've been watching the show. I enjoy it.
I know what it is, but I'm not going to ruin it for anyone because I'm trying not to read the comic. The Boys was always a comic I'd heard of, and it was always on my to-do list. I just never got around to it, so I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but it's a pretty cool idea. The Batman shows photos from Colin Farrell's unrecognizable Penguin, and he doesn't look like what was his name? Val Kilmer. He doesn't. No. In the new pictures, it looks a lot different. I don't know if they changed it or it was just that day's angle. Because you know how sometimes you look at a person like, wow, they're beautiful, and then you look at them again, you're like, damn, I need to stop drinking. So the next new,
So the next news says Stargirl showrunner reveals new details about season 2 villain Eclipso.
I don't want to hear anything. I want to be surprised. Surprise me. I like being surprised. Sometimes I hate the news because I get spoilers by having to cover this. I didn't even read that. I was like, if you're a Stargirl fan and you want to ruin it for yourself, here. I'm just going to wait and see. All right, so this is a preview for everything arriving tomorrow, Wednesday, October 14th. We didn't get to find our news program that's been covering the releases. Hopefully we see that tomorrow at some point. Doctor Who's also getting a video game with David Tennant and Jodie Whittaker as voices in the game. How cool is that if you're a Doctor Who fan, right? All right, Moden, you're up.
Cabinet of Curiosities, Comic Chronicles, Cincinnati's Haunted Places and Illustration. That is really cool. It's like a comic book ghost tour.
Yeah, and that's brought to us by CPO.com. That's a news network. And, of course, comicbook.com and CBR have brought us our stories before this. So I want to make sure and Comic Book Movie, by the way, gave us the Batman because we want to show love. And we want you guys to click these links and read the articles and their Screen Rant for the boys. So make sure you're showing love because they're covering comics. Let's keep them there. This is pretty exciting. I'll let Moden talk about it.
All right. New Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser Resort construction photos revealed. That sounds exciting. And is that at the Florida one or is that in the California one?
I believe it's California because they're just they haven't really done anything in Florida with Star Wars yet, but they're doing something. They have to basically they're going to be taking over a part of Orlando and just ripping down everything that's there, and that's where the Star Wars. And I think that actually starts next year, believe it or not, 2021. I'm excited to talk about this. Jessica Henwick teases Matrix 4 changing film industry again. Of course, the Matrix changed how films were made. Literally changed how films were made when it first released. Now with Matrix 4, they're saying they've learned new techniques that are going to blow our minds. Cannot wait. Super excited about this. But this is funny. Moden, this is something I would do to you.
Oh, goodness. Ryan Reynolds wishes Hugh Jackman a happy birthday with a twist. I'm sure this is entertaining because their fake feud on social media for the past, 4 or 5 years since that they've been doing this now has been fun. It's been a hot minute. It's been at least since X-Men Origins and Ryan Reynolds tried to get that Deadpool movie off the ground. They've been going back and forth for years. It's awesome.
And speaking of being bad boys, the best, according to, and that was, by the way, that story was brought to us by comicbook.com along with Matrix. CBR tells us that the 8 best bad boys in comic history. That's one of those hard ones. That's what you get. You go to the bar with your friends and argue about this one. This is a list that gets argued over beer and hanging out with your
Who
friends.
do they have on the list?
You want to take a look?
Yeah, let's take a look.
Let's take a quick look. We won't show you them all. We'll just show you number 8 through 4. So they got Gambit. Gambit should be much higher.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Constantine, I could see him being around 7. But he deserves the list. Deadpool is 6?
That's not too bad.
Wolverine is 5?
Wolverine is 5.
Oh, goodness.
I guarantee you number 1's probably going to be like Jason Todd or something. But you know what? Let's just skip all the way to 1 rather than doing.
Nope, you got to go to CBR to find out. We're gonna respect that they do some great stories. CBR, you can find the link by going to comicbookadvocates.com. Just go to the Tuesday link and click it and see who they actually said was 4, 3, 2, and 1. This is so again with Flickering Myth. Modin will love this. They give you literal previews for the comics. You got to check out the Batman Insiders preview. I'm telling you. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. I like Batman and the Outsiders. Of course, I know he's a little hurt because his sons ran away from home. He's no longer Robin. Poor Batman. Poor Batman. What's that?
No longer has a Robin. Sad Batman. Even worse.
Yeah, and here's an announcement you'll like.
Marvel announces the return of the Valkyries. That'll be interesting. I wonder who they have in that roster. I'm assuming they've got Jane Foster as she's the current holder of the Valkyrie title, since she is no longer Thor. But
well, wait for it. With the movie coming up, who knows? She might get that hammer back.
Yeah, right. That's fair.
You guys just sat through all the headlines. These are all the headlines. We put them together for you. We got to add in the indie part of it. A couple of headlines in there belonging here. But we want you to pick. So every day we do the news, you're going to be able to pick. The top 3 headlines move on to the weekend when we do the weekended, and you guys get to vote. And originally we're going to do it on Fridays, but I think I'm going to start setting it up on Saturday morning. Give Friday an entire day to itself. Let Friday have its choices be shown. So pretty excited about that. And we have some news. We have an interview segment for the last 15 minutes. But as always, because Modin is with us, we want to give him some love. So we're going to head over and we're going to show you guys how to do it. It's real simple. It's right here on our main page. This is our newsroom. But if you go to any of our main pages right at the top, here we go, crowdfunding. So Modin, tell us about your book before we switch over to the news that is going to terraform comics.
Ooh. So, the campaign that we've got going on right now is the second book of Elysian Fields. We started the series here this past spring when we did our last campaign, and it served as kind of the prologue to the series, and now we're in full swing. We're in this tournament of champions in the underworld to crown the next lord of the underworld. So that's where we're at in Elysian Fields, the Pyramid Gambit, and we have our team, Achilles, Heracles, and Theseus, who are fighting for their god of death, Hades, to take back his seat. And yeah, it's an exciting time. We are fully funded 147%. We have 10 days left. We'd like to get that number even higher so that we can continue to make more content and bring more stuff to you guys on this book. We made a very exciting announcement this past Friday of an addition of a statue tier if we hit a certain amount, and that's very exciting. We've got a fantastic book for you guys, and we're really excited to get it to you. And thank you guys for everyone that has come out and support us so far. And for those of you guys who are waiting to get in soon. You only got 10 days left in the initial campaign window, and there are a lot of great things that you can get a hold of by getting in on these first 30 days.
And Modin, tell them where they can follow you, because after this, I'm going to come in with our guests and do my interview. If you have to take off, because I know you're mobile, feel free to. You can hang out in the back room and talk to us after the show. But tell them where they can find you, and then we're going to watch your video before you go.
they can find me again at on Twitter. We're at ElysianFields_0, and then on Facebook we're at 9 Realms Publishing, where you can stay up to date with all of your news on Elysian Fields and all other projects that we are looking at doing in the future with 9 Realms. And we've got a few coming your way soon.
And do you want to quickly talk about the troops before I play the video?
You know what? Yeah, that sounds good. So one of the big things we've been pushing with this Indiegogo campaign is our Supporter Troops initiative. We are partnered with the Special Forces Charitable Trust. They're a fantastic organization that not only raises money for that elite community of veterans, but their families, doing things like scholarships, widows funds, everything like anything that you can think of to give those families the support that they need. And so $10 of minimum of every purchase made with that Special Forces Charitable Trust logo on it will be donated to the SFCT. And we're so happy to be partnered with them. They're such a great organization, and honestly, it's been such a great partnership so far. We've raised almost $300 for them. At the beginning of the campaign, we're hoping to get it even higher. So thank you guys so much for all of you that have come out and backed those Support Our Troops tiers. And if you need a good cause, if you need another good reason to come back this book, you'll be supporting a great cause if you get those Support Our Troops tiers.
All right, thanks for being on today. And like I said, if you have to take off, take off. If not, I'll see you at the after show. All right, guys. Before we switch topics, check out the amazing video. Oops. The amazing video for the Gambit. There we go.
When we left off in the Zero issue, Achilles had made his way from peace in the afterlife to an arena, where he was left to fight alongside King Theseus against the first heroes Gilgamesh and Enkidu. Achilles had begun arrogant Gilgamesh at the end of the Zero issue, and that's where we pick up in Elysian Fields, the Pyramid Gambit. In almost 60 pages of story, we see the new Team Hades form and begin their first round in the Abyssal Tournament of Champions together. Heracles, conqueror of the 12 labors, Theseus, slayer of the Minotaur, and Achilles, the hero of the Trojan War, must now face an opponent that has never been defeated before in this arena, the champion of Osiris, Imhotep. With the success of our first campaign, we were able to expand on this book in pretty much every way. We have doubled the size of the story, brought in talents like Kevin Sharp and Alonzo Espinosa from the Dragon Guard, Scott Rozema, and many more for various different covers and pinup. We're also extremely excited to announce our partnership with the Special Forces Charitable Trust, for whom we are raising funds by our Support Our Troops package. Not only will this package include an Indiegogo exclusive edition of the book with a cover by Ted Lehman and Farah Normaliza, but it will include a pinup by the very talented Justin Hunt, a UNIP patch, and a challenge form. $10 from every purchase of this tier will be donated to the Special Forces Charitable Trust. It not only helps the veterans of this very elite community of American military, but their families as well.
All right, so let's switch gears, guys. It's going to be me doing an interview and also being part of it, because the next topic comes from Terraform. So Terraform recently announced that they're going to be changing in a new direction. You can find that article at Terraform COMiX, and it'll be right there on the main page, and it's going to go over the mission and all that. But instead of just reading it, I figured I'd bring some fine, talented people in to discuss it. So we're going to go around the room. We're going to talk about it. 3 of the 5 founders of Terraform COMiX are coming to you live right now. So you guys want to go around and introduce yourselves quickly, and then we'll get to the business of it. Meredith first.
Sure. Howdy, everybody. I'm Meredith Lochran. I am, I guess, the social media and community liaison of Terraform Comics, as well as many other hats. But that's what I am for Terraform. Back to you, Rob.
Well, Luke, we got to
Hey.
introduce.
My name is Luke Stone. I'm a writer and artist, and I am one of the founders of Terraform Comics. And I scribble. I scribble words and pictures. That's what I do.
Okay, so I'll play the interviewer, even though I know the answers to the questions, just to get us to where we want. So, why the pivot? Why the change? That's the biggest question. Who wants to go first? Why change direction in such a new comic book company that's out there, and publisher? Why you guys?
I'll go ahead and start with that. It's pretty. It's no surprise that 2020 has kind of been a crazy year for a lot of people. And one of the things we want to do at Terraform Comics is to change the landscape of comics. And so in order to do that, we want to not just think like a standard publisher or just try to copy what other people are doing. You know, we're seeing some great moves from some indie companies out there like Scout and different companies like that. We're seeing some moves happening from like Antarctic Press and some things happening there, and we don't want to just mimic what everybody else is doing or just be one of a number of people that are doing the same thing. We want to do something different. We want to really impact comics and the comics community as best we can. And so in order to do that, we're such a young company, we can pivot very easily. And it's good to stay nimble, especially with a year like this, especially with all the things that we've had happen, right? And so one of the things that we looked at is, how can we best impact the comics industry and the comics community? You notice I didn't say the indie comics. I said the comics industry because we understand that everybody got their start somewhere. You know, Stan Lee was getting coffee for someone at some point. Jack Kirby was drawing advertisements for a magazine at some point. You know, everybody gets their start somewhere. And what one of the pivot that we're really focusing on is how can we impact the community the best way possible? And we believe that the best way to do that is through development of new talent and the development of new IPs. And so that is going to be our focus going through this year and going into next year, as well as the uncertainty of the economic the economic health of the United States and the rest of the world. We want to be very conservative in our decision making, and we want to be here for the long haul. We don't want to, do something stupid and have to close down in a year or so. So that's also part of the idea of what is the most sustainable thing that we can do at the moment.
Meredith, did you want to add anything to that?
Not really. I mean, quite honestly, I was going to read what we had on the website because it's short, sweet, and pretty concise. But it does kind of piggyback off of what Luke was saying as far as developing.
If you want, I can
creators.
scroll it up and you can read it if you'd like.
Sure. Let's see here. So, Terraform Comics LLC is proud to announce an exciting new direction for our foundling company. Our mission is that we strive at changing the landscape of comics, but how? Our founding members held several meetings to discuss what that really meant and how it would guide our new direction. The overwhelming response is to develop those new creators and creative teams with a focus on developing original intellectual properties, also known as IPs, for those who don't know. So with over 100 years of combined experience in comic books, publishing, and marketing, we also want to work with creators who have a desire to add their single issues to our catalog for publishing and distribution through Terraform Comics. And that's where Terraform Presents comes in. Under this umbrella of developing original IPs and anthologies, Terraform Presents is a collective idea where we have creative license to manage and present multiple books and subsequent imprints. This idea will be comprised of short stories and single issues created and developed by Terraform alongside new creators and creative teams, incorporating new talent with established producers to build a well-rounded reputation of concept through delivery of their comics. So one of the exciting things that I find about that is, for me as a new comic book creator, to have my work alongside somebody who's more established helps legitimize what I'm doing, so that I don't feel like I'm out there waffling on my own. And so that was an important component for me. Rob, I'm going to turn it back to you because you are one of the founding members of Terraform.
Yes, I am. And I've already had a couple questions since this came out from other people. One of the questions I got from someone who caught on, they're like, how is this going to be any different than the Advocator? And that's a great question. And the basic idea is I'm taking everything I've learned in my career. There's a lot of things I work on, like you just found out today, that I was part of a New York Comic-Con challenge through Comic Book School. There are a lot of places that I wind up helping people and I interact with people. I'm across the industry in different groups, different chats, and I'm always talking about things. And even this summer, late summer, we announced the Comic Book Advocates was going to be doing Creator Spotlight, where we were going to do basically, we were going to help build up creators. And at one point, we were going to put out a book with all these creators and their new ideas. The Advocator was always supposed to take pre-established franchises and give you stories for them. And it wasn't much editorial control. They submitted stories and they were either approved or they weren't. The difference with Terraform is we are going to be starting from the ground up. We're not saying you can't bring in your IP. We're saying it has to be a totally original story with your IP that we get to watch it be made, because we want quality to go out under the Terraform comics. So if you come to us, we're going to give you story editing. We're going to help you with your contract, with whether an artist or a writer. We're going to help people write contracts together and be able to work with each other, because a lot of people don't know how to interact with that. And having Terraform kind of help that relationship will be important. Just like the Advocator, everyone keeps their stuff. The difference, and this was a little different than the Advocator. The Advocator was allowed to publish that comic book again. We will keep the rights to publish what is ever created under this umbrella. It doesn't become our story. The IP does not become our story. But that's now something we get to print for that's it. It's ours to print. 10 years from now, we can do a 10th anniversary and put it in that book if we so feel fit to. So all you're giving up is the rights, not exclusive rights, mind you, but just the rights for us to publish it and print it as often as we'd like. We cannot change the story. We cannot update the story. We cannot change the wording. When we all agree, when it gets put into a book, that final version is in stone. It doesn't get changed. You can't even change it on your end. That'll be the one caveat. Yes, you can reprint it, but you can't change it. You can reprint it under your umbrella as long as you leave it the same. Can you add a story to it on the outside of it or before it? Yes. But again, that stone stays both sides. That is something we are mutually creating that we can mutually distribute. And you'll be able to distribute it 6 months after we publish it. So we get the first publishing rights. We get the first 6 months on it. Can you involve it as a PDF as part of your package for your Kickstarter or your Indiegogo? Maybe we'll discuss it. First, let's get to the point where we're making stories. I see this too often, and this is what we want to help the younger creators. Too many creators want to talk about rights for television. Make a story first. That's the point of this. And also be part of something. There are a lot of creators out there who have built a great platform for themselves, but no one knows who they are because they kept to themselves for so long that they've never been able to grow their audience. And instead of Terraform constantly taking someone else's IPs and try to raise them up and having to deal with disputes between how something will be created or promoted, we will have control over this. You're doing as Meredith says, 100 years of experience between marketing, comic book creating, and storytelling. 100 years of experience is going to tell you how to be able to do these things in a way that's more professional. The whole point is to help you level up through our experience, and our point is to change the industry of comics. We want to work with the next Jim Lee before he's the next Jim Lee, and we want to help them in their career and help them rise up. The Advocate was a great thing. Don't get me wrong. The Advocator was a great project, and it's something I'll always be proud of. But this is the evolution of that idea. This is literally something, and I'm bringing the Comic Book Advocates Creator Spotlight to Terraform because they're excited about the idea, and they want to see creators grow. Everyone in Terraform wants to see not only Terraform grow, but they want to grow with all the amazing creators that are out there. We want to offer not services, but an education by working with us. It's this close to being an internship, except you're getting something on the other side of it, and you're going to be able to get to be part of our audiences because we'll be promoting you. Did I miss anything with that, Meredith? Luke?
Sorry, I'm on mute. Nope, I don't think so. I mean, but I think it's a very exciting pivot that we're doing as far as putting these creative teams together. It sounds very exciting, and anybody who is interested in putting forth an idea, I don't know that. I mean, there are some discussions that we still have to have as far as a team, but we're looking for stories. I mean, do we have an open call yet? Not quite. We're not there at this point in time. But if you have ever had a desire to create a comic book, I mean, for me personally, I with Luke Stone and Hybrids, I should be having my first comic book credit. That's 2 pages. You have to start somewhere. Okay. And if that's something that you want to do with Terraform Comics, we would love to have you, start putting together your story ideas. If it's something that, I mean, as far as the creative team, Luke, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, but we want to bring on board not only the writers, but we're looking for people who can do coloring and inking and layouts.
We are, yeah. We're looking to develop people who maybe haven't gotten their foot in the door yet, or maybe they need some more experience to learn the process, to learn how all those things are supposed to work, and just have an opportunity to flex those muscles and to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And it's important that a lot of people, I think, are afraid to ask for help, and they take jobs when they're not ready for it. This is an environment that no one's going to get mad at you for making a mistake. We want to be able to help you and talk about why it's a mistake and go through that process and help. And Luke said it best, help these creators really see what they can do. Because I think sometimes creators, when they show up, they always feel like there's a lot of people who give them advice, but not a lot of people are willing to slow down and help them. And that's going to be this process. And we want to build a library where we're proud of the work. And a few years from now, we can look back at that work and go, oh my God, look at how much amazing creative people, not only we've worked at, but we've also been able to bring to be part of this. And this will also give you opportunities as we grow this. It's going to be a network that just isn't seen because no one's looked at it this way. We're looking at the whole process sideways. We're looking at developing people, not to just build our brand, but so they can be built up and they can move on. And you never know, we might spin off some ideas into series for Terraform, but there will be Terraform owned stuff from this point on. I think we could all agree, we're not really looking for anyone's IP to own at this point or to be part of. Would that be accurate? So please, yeah, if you see an open call, please don't pitch your book to us. We're not there anymore. We want to be part of the ground floor of something. We don't want to come in the middle of it and try to have to, I wouldn't say fix, but kind of mold something. I think there's other publishers like Luke had said doing a great job at that right now. But there's no one, and I don't want to call it a minor league because that's demeaning, but there's definitely not a group that's fostering younger creators and helping them with the process of creativity.
Well, I have no problem saying that we are, like AAA, with a toe in the door to be bigger. Because, I mean, quite honestly, between Cat Dad and Supermom kind of graduating, and then Luke Stone having an established IP, these are things that new creators strive for, and so by having that, as well as Varian Grant, who's got Last Call Comics. I mean, he's got experience. as well as distribution. Comic Book Black Belt, asks a really good question. What distribution does Terraform have? I can only say that, I'm more on the front end. I'm going to leave that to either Luke or Rob or even Varian to help answer that.
I think Varian is the best person to reach out and ask about that. And we do have to wrap the show up. But before we go, I wanted to show the hybrids commercial.
Yeah.
So we're out of here, guys. We'll see you tomorrow at 11.
New from Terraform COMiX, Hybrids, The Sons of Gods, Volume 1, Trash Day. When everyday people develop godlike abilities, it is up to a small band of heroes to expose an evil superhuman trafficking ring. This 128-page volume merges history with fiction in an exciting, fast-paced adventure. Get your copy now.